Dr. Jacqueline Olweya is an accomplished professional and leader with over 25 years of experience in international development. She currently serves as the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, resident representative in the Kingdom of Lesotho. Dr. Olweya's impact in gender mainstreaming has contributed to the establishment of critical gender institutions in Kenya and informed regional and global advocacy efforts. She continues to shape inclusive and sustainable development across diverse contexts, empowering people, transforming institutions, and advancing the sustainable development goals. Her story is next on our weekly segment, Women and Power.
I'm Dr. Jacqueline Olweya. I say I'm made in Kenya. Throughout my education from primary all the way to university and up to PhD, I studied in Kenya. I have a PhD in economics and planning of education from Kenyatta University and also a master's of philosophy in educational planning from Moi University. Currently, I'm the resident representative for the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, in the Kingdom of Lesotho. My mom dropped out of school in grade 2 when she was married off. But she later on, through homeschooling and support of my dad, she later on became a politician. She was actually 3-time nominated by President Moi as a councillor. And I saw how she managed the positions that she was holding, how she was commanding the meetings, because she'd take me along with her. And so I was inspired in 2 fronts. I wanted to go beyond her educational level, but I also wanted to be in a space that allowed me to exercise leadership in the same way that she exercised leadership. So I started off as a teacher in a very small school in Kisumu called Tiengre Secondary School, where in one of my classes I had only 6 students. And then thereafter, I moved to Muranga Teachers Training College, where I was teaching economics and mathematics, being my background. I then got an opportunity to work with the Institute of Policy Analysis and Research, where my research focused on education, but from a gender perspective. And it is from there that I launched my career into the development world, because the research that I was doing was informing how education policies and education practices actually impact on policy and human capital development. So that's how I transitioned into development. I then started off with UNDP in the year 2000, June of 2000, here in Kenya, when I was appointed as the National Gender Advisor to the government of Kenya and the cabinet at that time. But I also worked with the cabinet to do the political governance aspect, gender mainstreaming in politics. It is during that time that the Constitution of Kenya was also being reviewed. So I brought in an element of gender mainstreaming in the Constitution review process. I supported the development of guidelines for gender mainstreaming in police training. That project, we were able to develop the national gender policy as well as the establishment of the Ministry of Gender. And my first minister in that ministry was Honorable Najib Balala, whom we worked with very closely and remained a very key figure in taking forward gender issues in the country. The 30% women's quota representation in leadership positions. And I see that as we haven't reached the mark. There was that desire, there was that provision in the Constitution, but I don't see that we have reached that particular mark. So based on that, one would say we've made progress, but we have not achieved all that we intended to achieve. I've worked for the United Nations for 23 years, most of it with the United Nations Development Programme, and about 6 years on secondment from UNDP to the UN Development Group. My journey then has seen me work in New York at the headquarters. I was then appointed as the regional advisor and head of the UN Development Group for Eastern and Southern Africa. I was based in Johannesburg, South Africa For about 4 years, the mandate of UNDP, where we work on governance issues, we work on poverty reduction, we work on human rights, gender equality, youth empowerment, as well as renewable energy space or climate action in that regard. I always say my achievement is in the lives of the people that I touch in one way or another. If I take the case of the Kingdom of Lesotho right now where I work, my greatest achievement has been in the youth empowerment programs that we have. So when I see one youth whom we have given, let's say, $1,000, grow their business from having employed 2 people to now employing 13 or 14, I say that's one of my greatest achievements, for instance. And I can say the same for the various duty stations that I've worked. I always say that Somalia is one of the most fulfilling places I've worked in. Fulfilling in the sense that you realize the impact that you have on people's life almost immediately. We increased the number of women in parliament from 18% to 24%. So to me, that was a major achievement given the context of Somalia. In the past years, I've got about 8 awards from the UN development group. Some of them are platinum awards. I think I have 1 gold award. All of them are platinum awards in recognition of my contribution to the countries that I've served insofar as sustainable development is concerned. But besides that, I also got a recognition from the Leadership Academy in the UK, which was in recognition of my work on change management and human rights development. I've published 14 books so far, and I'm hoping to publish others going forward. There have been people who have accompanied me through this journey. Some of them are my supervisors from university times. Some of them are my supervisors from my careers. There's a gentleman called Professor Okwacha, who is a renowned educationist here in Kenya. And he is the one who actually deep dived me into the whole issue of gender and women's empowerment. I look forward to benefiting from the various leadership pools that I am in right now. And I look forward to empowering at least 2, 3, 4, 5 young girls from Kenya to take up after me. I do a lot of workouts, and during that time I do a lot of reflection. I also do a lot of self-meditation. I fast 2 days in a week, every day. And during those days, I do a lot of reflections and really what do I want? What is my purpose in life? And how do I take forward that purpose in life? The other thing I do to unwind is to read and write a lot. To the young ladies listening out there and watching us right now, I would say you can do it. You can make it. All you need is to be committed, have a clear vision, and work towards your vision. You will definitely meet challenges along the way, and the challenges will be there. But if you have your eye on the goal, you will definitely get to where you want to be. But I would love to come back and give the same service to my country if given an opportunity. But definitely it will not be in the UN. It would have to be in the government or in whatever position that's deemed fit. So yes, I would really like to serve my country as well.